Hey YouTube, hope you are well, wealthy and winning. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to share with you 5 mistakes you must avoid if you want to be an even more successful entrepreneur in 2024. Now these 5 mistakes are global, they happen everywhere. I hear these mistakes all the time and I love coaching people through them. Now I'm going to share these with you, and number 5 is the most critical. So stick around and stay till the end. Also, if you like the comments on this video, if you like the content on this video, make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned for even more videos just like this one. Mistake number 1, I hear this all the time and I hate it. Can we stop waiting for a freaking website to get your idea off the ground, to launch your new product or service, to start or scale your business? Stop waiting for the website. Why? Because the website is not going to be the differentiating factor between how much money you make. Let me explain. So many people, I hear so many entrepreneurs go, well, I haven't launched this yet, or I haven't started this yet because I'm waiting for a website. I'm like, what on earth are you waiting for a website? Your audience does not care about your website any more than they care about Where's Wally. Like, they don't care. What they care about is your commitment and your quality of being able to deliver a high value service. Now, being an expert in what you do, which I'm sure you are, you don't need to wait for a website in order to start making money. Instead, listen, one of my mentors makes £1 million a month. He has no website, okay? So that's just proof in the pudding for you that the website is not specifically designed there to make you money. Will it give you some credibility? Probably. But is it gonna make you start or scale your business? No, right? It's something to do when you're scaling, not necessarily when you're starting. So consider this. Like, instead of waiting for a website, consider just picking up the phone to clients and potential clients, clients that you've worked with in the past, clients that you want to work with in the future, and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this idea, what are your thoughts? Or hey, where are you facing a challenge in this particular area? And then once they identify where their challenge is, and then you share how you can potentially solve that challenge, hello, maybe you've just completed your first sale, or maybe you've just completed your first sale of the day. So many entrepreneurs are scared of picking up the phone and going, hey, I've got this new idea that I wanted to share with you. Let me walk you through it. Or hey, what's your challenge in this area? Or hey, speaking to people and connecting with people is where the money is made. You have to be the bridge between their dissatisfaction and their satisfaction. Once you can form and be the vehicle that is that bridge that helps people travel across smoothly and eloquently, then of course they're going to be much more likely to spend money with you. So that is number 1. Stop waiting for a website. Listen, I've created over £1 million in this industry. I've not got a website right now, right? I'm actually building one in the background, but like, it's not of critical importance is what I'm saying. So stop waiting for the website, get started anyhow and start making money, right? Go and do that straight away. Number 2 happens a lot, and I see this and hear about it all the time, and it is selling too low. Your price point is actually critical. Your price point is a little bit like your credibility statement. So here's what tends to happen with a lot of entrepreneurs is they price based on competition. They price based on what's going on around them. They price based on, oh, let me research the market. The market is the market and it's dead. You don't want to belong to a generic marketplace. Why? Because that means that if somebody else, another competitor, reduces their prices, that means that you've also got to reduce your price. And then that means that the business becomes more challenging for you. And that's a massive challenge and problem, not only for you and your profits, but also for your clients. Because here's the real problem with this. When you charge too low, then your clients can't get the full value of your service and expertise. They just can't, because you don't have enough resources financially to invest in scaling your team, to invest in building brilliant services, to invest in new products, to invest in making sure that your service is absolutely elite, 10 out of 10, A1. If you don't have the profit margin to be able to do that, your clients are going to walk away and they're going to say things like, oh yeah, he's all right. Oh yeah, it was okay. No, you don't want that. You want to be elite. You want to be superstar status. You want to be the Lamborghini of your industry. Lamborghini ain't discounting their prices. Neither is Ferrari, neither is Bentayga, neither is Bentley. They're not doing that. Why? Because they have become the elite. They have become the number 1 or thereabouts in their industry. They have become iconic. And if you, my friend, are going to become iconic in your industry, then you never want to price based on competition. Where do you want to price instead? You want to price predicated on value. Now, one of my clients, Ricardo Mighty, is a software consultant, and he was charging based on competition before he started working with me. And he was charging about £10,000-20,000 per client. Now, when I taught him how to reposition his messaging, reposition his expertise, and price not based on the competition, but price based on the value that he provides. When he told me the success stories that he had had with clients, helping companies like ClearScore, massive organization, make multi-millions of pounds, and what he was charging was like 10-20 grand. I was like, listen bro, shut that. And he started charging a much more premium price point. He made his next contract £720,000, right? So that's what happens when you start to move away from what the market is charging. Stop undervaluing your expertise. Listen, it's taking you years, decades, time, money, resources to learn what you know in order to build up your credibility, build up your expertise, build up your skill set. How many courses, how many books have you read? All that is time, money, and effort on your part. So don't undervalue it. And just because you know it and it becomes natural to you, it's like, oh, it just like rolls off your tongue. Like when I coach clients, it just rolls off my tongue. I'm like, why didn't you think of that? Right? But like that is 20 years of experience, expertise. So if I undercharge for that, in fact, I'm not only doing myself a disservice, but I'm also doing my clients a disservice. Why? Because if I undervalue it, then they will underappreciate it naturally. It's human science, and you just can't avoid human science. So if you want to be the Lamborghini of your industry, you want to be iconic, you want to be in a category of one, then it's really important that you stand out, not in terms of quality, but also in terms of price. So the rule is price based on value, not based on competition or anything else. So if you're getting value from this video, by the way, make sure that you press that little button in the corner and subscribe so that you stay tuned for more videos just like this one. I'm super excited, by the way, to crack on to tip number 5, mistake to avoid. But before we get to number 5, here is number 3. Number 3 is crucial, and here's this. Like people make this mistake so often, and it's so bad. It will be a crusher of you getting to 7 figures. It's almost like, I'm not gonna say impossible, but it's really freaking difficult. It's a real grind to get to 7 figures if you miss this spot. And this is where a lot of people get stuck at around the sort of 200, 300 grand a year mark, is they don't build what we call SOPs. What are those? What are those? Standard operating procedures. You must build standing operating procedures in your business all the way through. When I started my first coaching business, I used to coach sports in primary schools. Initially, I was a football coach. I started coaching basketball, hockey, tennis, gymnastics, tag rugby. And then when I got booked and busy, I started getting other people. First, it was just my cousins and the people that I knew in my local area. And then it expanded out to a team of up to 150 people. Okay. So the ways that I was able to expand from a one-man band making £30 a week to a national company generating £3 million revenue every year was I had SOPs. Now, I didn't call them SOPs at the time, but here's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite simple. Every time I went to a lesson, even before I had staff, even before I had team members, even before I knew I was thinking about building this business, I would write down, what did I do? Oh, here's what I did for the warm-up. Here's what I did for the main session. Here's what I did for the end. And then in the end, I created a little book out of it. And then I just, when new people came onto my team and I was like, well, the teacher would be like, hey, can you coach on Monday at 3:30? And I'll be like, well, I'm booked at that other school. But hey, my colleague Chris can come over and he can cover it for you. And then I just gave Chris this little book. At first it was like 50 pages. It's like here, like a little scrapbook. And he had that and it was like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. And that was it. And that's all I needed to do. Okay. And over time, what happened was I started to build the business, more coaches, more stuff. I even created a book. Here it is. Let me grab this without dropping my Professional Speakers Academy award. Hey! But here it is. And then I ended up creating this book. Now this, like, it wasn't designed and looking pretty like this for the first 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 years. But after 10 years, I created this book. I created another book on how to deliver outstanding PE lessons. And that became an outstanding resource and a valuable asset, not only for my company, but initially for my team members who were on board, but also it became a national asset for schools. Now, schools still go and buy that book today. Teachers buy that book today on Amazon, and it's absolutely amazing. So that becomes your asset. It's all because I had the intentionality to create what? SOPs, standard operating procedures. Anything that you do in your business, write it down, capture it. I had a call with my assistant this morning, and she was like, how do I chase these late payments? Because some people are telling me they can't pay. How do I rebuttal it? I don't know what to say. She's brand new. She just started last week. So I said, record this conversation and role play with me. So she said, so she then goes back and forth with me, role plays. And then when she recorded the conversation and I gave her my eloquent responses of what to say and how to say it, then I said, put that into the SOPs. So that the next person that comes on board with the team that has that same issue and or challenge, they can go and listen to that audio and I don't have to do it again. That is the value of SOPs. And that's also how easy it is, because some people get in their head, oh my God, it's so long, it's so much work to do. No, stop getting in your own frustration. Create SOPs. Here's how I do it. I create a list of everything that I do in the business. And then I create a short Loom video on it. And then I hyperlink it, video link it, and then I say, how long is that video? Typically the videos or the recordings are anywhere from like 2 to 10 minutes long, usually on average about 5 minutes. They're short, they're concise. How to send an email, how to write a document for a client, how to send a proposal out, how to answer the question about fees, how to, like, all of that, it's just recorded and it's just there. So the first thing that I did with my assistant when she started onboarded a couple of weeks ago was I asked her to spend the whole couple of days, first 3 or 4 days, just going through those how-to processes. So then when I asked her to do something or to get something done, she goes, okay, I kind of got a general idea of how to do that. Let me go and check the SOP again so I can then implement and execute. And then I don't become the freaking bottleneck in the company. And I don't, because most entrepreneurs, they think like, oh, well, you know, I can't give it to somebody else because they don't know how to do it like me. Get out of your freaking head, my friend. You are not Jesus. Like, you're not. You're amazing, but you're not like God, right? So think about it this way. Everything that's in your head, you have to distill into some sort of process. Once you can distill the process and your team members can deliver up to like 80%, maybe even 90% of the quality that you deliver, that becomes a remarkable asset to you and your business. Dan Martell talks about this in his world-class book, How to Buy Back Your Time. And it's something that I was doing before and I've started to do even more intentionally when I read that book. So go and check it out. And if you want to check out more amazing world-class books, check out my video on the best 5 books to read as an entrepreneur in 2024. I hope you're getting amazing value from this video. What was your favorite or what resonated with you so far the most? Make sure that you drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. Number 4 and number 5 are absolutely crucial. And as I say, I'm saving the best to last so that you make sure that you stick around right to the end. Number 4 is a mistake that I see a lot of times with coaches and consultants, and that is selling one-to-one low ticket. Problem! That is gonna drain your time. That is gonna suck up your time like a Dyson Hoover, just your time is gonna be done. I said to one of my clients, I was delivering an elite entrepreneurs mastermind where I coach 6-figure business owners how to accelerate towards 7 figures and how to create 100 grand in a month. And one of the clients who said to me, I'm not going to tell you his name because you probably know him, but one of the clients said to me, I said, what do you charge for a day of speaking or a day of training? He was like, about 2.5K. I looked at him and I went, never again. I was like, if I want to hire you for a day to coach me on finance, he's a finance coach. So if I want to hire you for a day, what would you charge? He went, 2.5 to 5K. I went, never again, right? So it was like, I was like, next time it's 10K minimum as a day rate. He was like, okay, cool, done. And then he wrote it down, and I know he's just gonna go and execute it because he's an executor, right? So that's sometimes the value of just being around inspirational people that have been where you wanna go, because they will see your value ahead of you. But if you're charging low ticket for one-on-one, the problem is, like, your time is a limited resource, but your income should not be a limited resource. So you've really got to start coaching in groups, start coaching, educating, training, advising, guiding one-to-many. And going back to point number 3, when you create world-class SOPs, when you create world-class procedures in your business, then actually your time becomes way more valuable. Here's why. Because when somebody can get access to great assets, great knowledge, great resource of you online, then naturally your value starts to grow and compound, because you know that, for example, we have a masterclass that we sell for £600, online masterclass. clients that have come through that masterclass have generated up to £38,000 in 3 weeks. And that's become a relatively common thing with that program. Now, here's the thing, like if someone can get £38,000 of like almost instantaneous value from that £600 masterclass, then I can't charge £600 for an hour. Because I know I can just go online and I can sell 2 or 3 of those in an hour, and I can make over £1.5 grand, or I can sell some other asset that is also online and I can make £6,000, £7,000, £8,000. So then you can't charge a low fee for one-on-one services. Not only would it suck up your time and kill your energy, but also it will deplete you financially, because then you're always going to be looking for the next client, the next client, the next client. So what I would encourage you to do, and then like a mistake that a lot of people want to avoid, is start coaching one-to-many, start working one-to-group. However that pans out for you. If you're a recruitment consultant, as an example, like do your hiring one-to-group. Like stop doing like one-on-one interviews until they have reached a really high-level stage. So that maybe you've got 10 people and you interview all 10 people all at once, and then you whittle it down, and then you get the last 2 people to then have that one-on-one interview with it. Massive time saver and a massive value leverage tool. So always look to start one-to-many rather than one-to-one. Here's the additional benefit of doing it one-to-many, by the way, is that voices of other people, like sometimes when you're the leader, you're the authority, people are like, yeah, but you've done it, you're so far ahead, I'm in this position here. So having the benefit of other people who are maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead, or have been through that same challenge maybe 2 or 3 months ago, that creates that real tight knit, and it creates more certainty on the values that you're providing. It creates more credibility, more kudos, and it empowers your clients to get an even better result, because they're around like-minded people that they know, that they like, that they trust, and that repetition of information, that repetition of inside knowledge coming from multiple people, it's a massive game changer. So here's the thing, there is some credibility in working one-on-one, and the credibility is really like establishing your expertise and establishing your mastery, okay? So there is some credibility in that. Like if you're really just starting out and you want to get, like if someone's just starting out as a coach or consultant, I often say to them, like go and get your first 5 clients at like 5 grand. And like, huh? What do you mean 5 grand? I'm like, just charge 5 grand. Like do it, like do, like, I don't know, 5-10 sessions, make it 5 grand, make it 5 grand worth of value, and then go and do that. Because that will, and I know that it sounds contradictory, but it's not. Hear me out. Because what you're doing is you're developing your mastery, you're developing your concept, so that then when you coach one-to-many, it becomes far easier. So have a cut-off point. Maybe you get just 5 clients one-on-one to begin with, that produces you 5 times 5, 25 grand. Okay, cool. Now you've established credibility. Now you've got great testimonials and reports from individuals. Now you can go and coach one-to-group and say, hey, listen, I used to charge 5 grand for this service. Now I'm doing a 2 grand program as a group, blah, 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 bang, bang, bang. You get 10 people in, bang, whoa, mahola. Now you've got 10 people in at 2 grand each. Now you've got 20 grand. And then you just repeat that process. And potentially for you, now you've got 20 grand a week. Hello, money in the bank, baby. So don't make the mistake of doing too much one-to-one. And if you do one-to-one, make sure that it is premium value. Make sure that it is high ticket, at least 5 grand, at least minimum. And then start to scale it up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, and so on. Mistake number 5 is a launch pad of number 4. And I spoke about coaching one-on-one, but I didn't yet speak about selling one-on-one. Now, a mistake is if you're selling one-to-one, especially low-ticket products, programs, or services, you've got a massive problem, because you've got a huge drain on your time. And if you're good at selling, you're probably going to sell in the region of 30 to 50% of the number of people that book a call with you to the number of people that you actually close, which means that you're wasting a minimum, not wasting, but you're kind of like misusing 50% of your time. So instead of selling one-on-one, like, okay, cool, you've got a 5 grand program or a 5 grand service, say, and you're selling one-on-one, and then some people are going to drain you out because they'll be like, oh, not right now, maybe another time. And then you've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, freaking hell, follow-up calls, and it just comes like it comes an energy zapper. And then when you're on the next call for somebody else that wants to buy, your energy isn't there, potentially, and you've got to work hard to bring that energy back up, bring that certainty back up, because other people can drain your energy. So instead of selling one-to-one, here's what you want to do instead. You want to sell one-to-many. I have become a master at this skill, how to sell high ticket, high volume, in a way that produces world-class results for your clients and increases business profits for you. Now, when I started doing this, in October 2022, this is about a year and a half ago now, like in a very short space of time, I made over 7 figures doing just that. So I got this award over here. But anyway, like once you start selling one to many in a group, like 30 people, 40 people, like that can be on a webinar, that can be on a clarity call where you give people, your existing audience, clarity about what you're doing next, or a new project, or a new program, or a new service. Like bring people into a Zoom room. It's never been freaking easier. Stop wasting your time. It pees me off. Can you tell? Like, why would you waste your time going one-on-one? People are like sending DMs, going leads. Listen, stop wasting your time. Send people into an online event or a live in-person event. I prefer personally live in-person events because you don't have the potential of like cameras messing up and all of that sort of stuff. And like people are just more engaged and people are more like heart to heart, hand to hand, ear to ear, eye to eye. Like it's a little bit more engaging. So conversion rates are a little bit higher in live in-person events. But hey, like nothing wrong with starting off online events. And one of the first online events that we did, this was back in like 2021, I believe. We had about 140 people join the event and then we sold 72 tickets. So it was like a 50% conversion rate. So 72 tickets at £500 and made over 35 grand, like literally in 90 minutes. Okay. So when you can do stuff like that, then you can't go back and charge like, I don't know, like £1,000 an hour. No, I just made 38 grand in an hour. Like what on earth are you talking about? So once you start to master that ability to communicate the value of what you know, whether you sell windows, whether you sell double glazing, whether you sell carpets for floors, whether you sell software consultancy, whether you are a recruitment consultant, a HR consultant, bring people in one to many. That is a master of a skill that you must learn and develop. Because there is always a way to get better at this. There is always a way that you can recalibrate a message, share something in a different way, create a different analogy, share a different example that increases your results in terms of selling high ticket, high volume. And if you want to learn that skill, I'm running a almost free 1-day live in-person event. I'm going to drop the link below this video. Make sure that you don't miss it. It's £1 to get yourself in the room and learn to develop this skill where I'm going to share with you the golden nuggets on how to sell high ticket, high volume so that you can turn 6-figure years into 6-figure days. My name's Jazz Rose. I hope you've got amazing value out of this video. And here's what I want to know. I want you to drop it in the comments right now. What was the tip that resonated most with you? Was it number 1, stop waiting for a website? Number 2, was it selling too low? Was it 3, creating standard operating procedures? Was it number 4, which was coaching or educating, training, guiding, supporting one-on-one too much? Time buster. Or was it number 5, selling one-to-one? Which of those mistakes do you need to avoid the most? Drop it in the comments below. I would love to receive your feedback and I will personally respond to each and every one. Listen, help me grow this YouTube channel. If you like this video, like it, subscribe. Stay tuned for even more videos just like this one. My name's Jazz Rose and you have been amazing. Thank you so much for watching and see you on the next one.